we are, starting the mission. See, it's bouncing about quite a bit there. We hope we're going to survive. It's quite windy out there. If necessary, I shall have to take it. There we go. So now, is it going to tack? So that's its inner irons, hopefully. And it's stayed on the same tack, so I don't know. Let's see if it's going to tack back. Is it going to come round? Come round. Yes, so there we are. That was in. I don't know. It hasn't. Still staying on the same tack. But it's. Has it tacked? It has finally tacked now. I think. Yes, that's tacked now. So. Doing quite well there actually on that tack. Quite nicely on that tack. Hope I'm not too close to the bank in my waypoint. Hopefully it's getting a little bit. I might go. Oh no, that's it. Come down now. So to the next waypoint now. And I think when it's on a run, the wind vane does get shadowed by the sail itself, and so I think what I need to do is to make it tack downwind. So that is what I plan to do. There she blows. And that's it, that's the end of the mission. Pretty much. So it's now hold its place. So let's try that again. So we will very carefully. Oh, it's doing nicely there. Nicely. Oh. Yeah, so the. Oh, actually, no, this I think it is. Hasn't finished the mission. Coming somewhat pretty close to the bank for my liking. Any more? That's it. So there's a nice little bit of reach there. So now it is. Where it's off to now? I think it's finished the mission there. Yeah, it's now in loiter mode. So that's now in loiter mode there. So, right. And then at some point, yeah, it's going to go around. So, right, what I need to do is to put that to there, give it some manual. That is actually a manual, which is kind of the dangerous mode. And now if I flip it back, it should restart the mission. Down to the first waypoint. Not sure where it is. I see the boat. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's too high. Goes. Doing very well there. Doing very well there. this is where we're trying to get it in iron. It doesn't seem to do it that well. Going into iron, so it should now go backwards and then tack onto the other tack. And indeed, nope, it doesn't yet. It's got to get quite a way onto the other tack to be. That's it. Okay, so it's done that. It's now tacking on the other tack, and we are. Yeah, we're in view there, so that's good. And so, turning around as big as possible. Find. Oh, it's just got to tack a tiny little amount there. Okay, so it's started to tack round for some reason at the time. Just in a view there. Reverse the screen there. So, going down. And on the run, as you can see, it's not great on a run, so it really needs to tack downwind just to make sure the wind vane isn't covered. Whoa, big bit of wind there. So now it's coming up again. So got into irons, got itself into irons there for some reason. So can it recover? I'm going to try and get the other tack. No, it's going to try and. Yeah, so I have got the ability here just to reduce the angle of this sheet, and maybe it was sheeted in, so it had too much angle to tack on there, so it wasn't really working very well there. But yeah, it's not ideal. It's, as you can see, this heel algorithm still needs work, but it is it's getting there. It's getting there, and it's certainly a lot of fun. That's very close to the bank. Too close to the back really for my liking, but hey, it's off again somewhere. Travelling at nice old lick there. Lovely. I think it's now, whoa, now done its mission, and I guess it's now in loiter mode again. So let's try that again. Try it again. So it's a lot of fun little boat. Now hopefully we've got, I always get a bit nervous when it gets that near to the bank, especially as it's pointing in the wrong direction. So it's, no, that's cleared it alright. Okay, so let's try again. So we come down to a big bit of wind coming. So I need to get back into manual mode and try again. So start the mission again. So we got, where's the boat? Where's that? There it is. So here we go, starting the mission again. So let's see. Let's get the boat in the picture. Down nicely. So off it goes. Some nice upwind. Goes. There's a bit of upwind there. So there's a lot to be done with that heel algorithm really yet to get it nice. There's some big wind out there now, so I'm a little bit apprehensive. We'll see how it handles it. That's definitely a 15 to 16 knot wind now. So here it won't really, it'll have to use the kind of in-irons tacking technique here to tack here. So this is kind of It has actually, oh, it had it hadn't quite managed to tack properly there. So it knows which tack I hope it wants to be on, and therefore it sets the rudder when it's in reverse to try to get onto that tack, and that's what it's doing now. And then I might be able to help it a bit by reducing the. There's probably, for going upwind, I've probably got too much angle of attack allowable on the rig, and therefore it can blow itself sideways but not give itself a lot of forward movement. But I have got the ability to adjust that on here, so I am watching the boat because I'm slightly nervous because it's quite windy out there, and also my waypoints are quite close to the bank. Yeah, it does seem to want to, whoa, there it goes. Oh, that was a big bit of wind there, big jibe there. And now it'll tend to come, so, and this is where it's a little bit wiggly waggly because the wind vane gets shadowed by the mainsail, and so that's another thing I need to improve, really. As you can see, there's a lot of wind out there, my little boat, and now it should come up. Yeah, it comes up onto a reach, hopefully. It's gone a bit far. It does do that, and that's another issue, is that it tends to overshoot a bit on turns. That's another thing that possibly needs to be modified. But on a reach, hopefully, now it is quite windy out there, as you can see. But and there it is, oh, nearly just a little bit of nice blue hull flying there. Should, that's it, turn before it hits the back. Wow. And then back into loiter mode. So we'll just try one more time. Yeah, back into loiter mode, so that's the end of its mission. So we'll try, so what I have to do, fully sheet out, quickly put it into manual, put it back into mission mode, and hopefully it will restart its mission. So hopefully now it will come down to the start of the mission. Wind's died, which a little bit, which I'm not too unhappy about because it's a lot of wind out there now. It seems to be happy. It's not gone over yet, but there it goes. Off it goes up into the starting off the mission again. So it's meant to be a tax rate wind, but obviously that's very good. There's a lot of wind out there now, a lot of wind. So just have to. I think actually that is more of a kind of a tight reach, that first leg, rather than a tack really, although I think there's a little bit of a tack at the end. Out there, that is quite rough and quite windy, so the little boat is it's tacked nicely that time. That's good. And doing a lovely little bit of hull flying, I think, there. A little bit bouncy, and obviously there's pids I can tune, but I think I can actually improve the algorithm quite a bit to get it to work better. But overall, it's a lot of fun with this. As you can see, the wind is not nothing. There's quite a bit of wind there. This is interesting that it seems to tack here at this point. It's done that each time. Whoa! I'm not entirely, somewhat nervous because it's quite windy. And this is on a sort of a run now. But as you can see, it's a lot more fun when it's on a slight reach, and I think I need to program that in. So this boat has got, compared with the Gazebo model, it's got a big horizontal foil on the rudder, and that I think is pretty much essential to keep it from kind of pitch bowling or nose diving in. So struggling a bit now. Possibly what I should do here, if I reduce the angle of attack of the sail a bit, the maximum allowed angle of attack, that should help. Yeah, that's so I put that down to about half what it's allowed to go to, and then suddenly it takes off upwind. So that's another thing I think I need to program in, is when it's going upwind it needs to reduce the maximum allowable angle of attack. When it's going offwind it can be pretty much stalled and still working. Doesn't seem to be doing that well at the moment, does it? Maybe it's because it's working very well. Seems to have got itself. Lost it. So I've taken it out of, I just wanted to check it hadn't, whoa, blooming heck, that was a lot of wind. Oof. That was a lot of wind, maybe it was just too much wind. So I need to reduce that down. So I just took it out of auto mode there for a minute because of the amount of wind. I don't know if it seemed to get itself stuck in irons there. But as you can see, there are moments when it's flying the hull quite nicely. Do you say moments? There it goes again. So it's actually sheltered here, but when it gets up to the top of the course, I think there's actually quite a bit more wind. The wind has actually changed quite a bit. I think that's this last little bit there. But overall it is, at the moment, well, I suppose one shouldn't say, but it is surviving in reasonably strong wind out there, which is a nice thing. And as you can see, it has moments of hull flying. So it's done its thing again. So I'm going to give it one more go and I think I'll bring it in. So we turn that off to there, we do that. Take that down, I can see some big wind coming up. So I should get it back into the frame. So it's now back in auto mode to repeat the mission again. Oh, that's nice. There we are, that's nice. Very broad reach. So there's an awful lot of things that could be improved on this. Here it goes. Now will it start its, yeah, there we go. There we go. It's gone around its first waypoint, and now it's normally dead in the wind, but I'm not quite sure if it's dead in the wind. I don't know. Somewhat off on the course there, but from time to time you can see it just gets nearly into a nice little whole fly mode like that. Going a long way out there now, and that's probably quite windy out there. So somewhat nervous there, but bouncing about quite a bit. There's quite a bit of little waves there. So perhaps I need to start using the Gazebo wave mode. And this is hopefully a nice in irons tack. Not really. It's a bit stuck there, isn't it? So there it goes. Okay. Yeah, well it has tacked. So that's good. So at this point, it's got itself stuck in irons again, I think. It knows which way it wants to go. Hopefully it'll get out of irons. Yep, it's come out of it. Quite shifty winds there. Oops. Pretty flat there at the moment, which means there'll be a big lump of wind. Yes, I can see a big lump of wind coming behind the boat. It's going downwind. Hope for the best, really. Okay, going to hit the boat maybe soonish. Well, it's nice, it's on a very broad reach, and I like that. I prefer that to a run, actually. It's a boat. Now it's got a bit of a reach here, I think. So yeah, it does overshoot. I think that may be something to do with apparent wind and so on and so forth. So it kind of has got itself into sort of. You can see there are moments of whole flying. It does take a little bit of time for the algorithm to settle down. Oh, nice! Just a nice smooth bit of wind, and that does help it to figure out what the best thing to do is. Well, there it is. Right. So let's do that. Turn that back on and start the mission again. So There is a nice bit of breeze coming down here. So you wouldn't think it, because it doesn't seem to have it, does it? Hasn't got it. There it goes again. Nice bit of upwind. I'll crank off the So basically the wind has now gone very much offshore. So yeah. Big wind there, look. Different direction to when we started. See, it's quite a shifty wind. Very shifty and really gusty. It's actually tacking, so the wind is actually directly offshore, which is something unexpected really, but it shows that it's able to tack quite nicely. It's decided it needs to tack to get to this waypoint, the next waypoint. Do the last waypoint. Thinks it's got there. So it's gone into loiter mode now. Need get my telemetry sorted out down here. So unfortunately my PC, the battery's flat, so I can't bring it down here. That's the key, that's remain plugged in. But okay, so it's in loiter now, so it's made it. So I think it's going to come in now. It's starting to come in, so go back into auto. I think the wind there is very, very fickle. There's a kind of headland, there's a lot of boats, and the wind's offshore. So as you can see, you can see the wind vane is literally all over the place now. But there we are. Yeah, it's practically a full reverse there. Nice little bit of stuff to finish off. I'll just try one more go, and I'll go there, and see if it'll start the mission again. So I do like that when it's going upwind or on a breach. That's nice. Take off some of that angle of attack the sail so it can actually move. And nice. Still on that tack. This tack must have tacked around there, hasn't it? Kind of in irons. Yeah, it's sort of tacked now. There it is, it has tacked. So it does seem that going upwind it needs only about half as much angle of attack as it can handle off wind. It might actually be able to handle a higher angle of attack off wind, because obviously even if the sail's stalled it's still working. So, but yeah, upwind I've had to reduce the angle of attack and it seems to work better that way. But yeah, there it's very close to that boat, the headland and the other boats, and presumably the wind is not great there. For consistency, as it were.
RF signal low.
So down a reach. Now if I pull the sail back up to its full angle of attack, allowable angle of attack, see what happens there. There's an awful lot of things that could be played with here, really, adjusted, and a lot of things that could be a lot better. But it's certainly an awful lot of fun to try to figure it out. Got some wind somewhere, but clearly not where I am. I'm going to get something in a minute, surely. Guess it heading up there. So at the moment I'm just playing the angle of attack control a little bit to see if I can figure out what it likes. But I think it's partly just very fickle wind there. So, it's obviously a lot of wind in big gusts there at that point. So, right, it's definitely time to come home, and I must come home. So, home time. Home time, little boat. Time to come home. This, of course, is always the bit where you do something silly and lose the boat. So I might have to lose the boat from the camera a bit because I've got to control the boat. So yeah, here we come. Right, here we come.